Hello everybody. It is approximately 3:48 in the morning and we are going to be doing some Jimmie Johnsons. So, for anyone unfamiliar, Jimmie Johnson is he races in things like NASCAR. He's actually quite esteemed. This game came out about a decade ago for the PS3, Xbox 360, and even the Wii, I think. And the studio behind this game is Isopod Labs, who was an offshoot of a studio that made games like Shrek 2. I don't know if it was a good one or the bad one, because there's a lot of Shrek video games, surprisingly. But anyways, this is a very silly game. I remember reading a review years back of this game, or a review from years back, that describes this game as really a 3 out of 5, but like the number score kind of belies just how ridiculous it is. We're going to be doing the Matador Mode. There's 4 courses on the Matador Mode. Unfortunately, I wish there were more, but this is the only tracks compatible with it. There's regulation, which just means we're going to be doing it with 7 additional AI bots and 5 laps per course. I'm going to be doing Rookie just because Rookie's a little bit less chaotic. It's slightly slower than All-Star, but it's also much more manageable. And yeah, we'll go ahead and get started. I'll explain the Matador concept here very shortly, but we'll go ahead and get the time going once I count down and say go. 3, 2, 1, and go. Yeah, every character in this game is cartoonishly stupid and one-dimensional, but it's a silly video game. So, there's an old joke when it comes to NASCAR that everyone just turns left and the race is really boring. Like, why don't they just make it more fun by having half the racers just drive in the opposite direction? And so that's what Matador Mode is. It is a 5-lap race, at least with these settings, where, as you can see, half of the drivers are driving the wrong direction. It is as chaotic as it sounds, and it was one of the things that immediately drew me to this game. I first discovered this game last summer when it was originally announced that the PlayStation 3 store would be discontinued. And so my friend did a stream where he went through all of the PS3 digital releases that he could to see if there was anything, that he needed to take note, that he needed to download before the store was discontinued. And I just got absolutely obliterated there. That's a big time loss, but it's whatever. This is Jimmie Johnson. This is just what happens in this game. And he just discovered this game and thought it was the silliest thing he'd ever seen, and I was like, I need to blind race you in this, man. So, to kind of go into the core mechanics, you have accelerate, you have brake, all your standard racing games stuff. Similar to Mario Kart, you have items. However, rather than them being unlocked by hitting item boxes, you unlock power-ups in this game by building up fans, which you get more votes every time you overtake somebody, every time you do certain actions. Like NASCAR, we do need to pit stop every now and then. In this game's case, it replenishes our health as well as fully replenishes our missiles, which are kind of like red shells. They don't go infinitely, but they lock onto enemies in front of you, like I just did. Every character has their own themed set of weaponry. I like the Tub Man here because he has a really funny power-up. Even though he's actually not the fastest kart racer. Who cares? It's silly block. I'm picking the racer that looks the most fun rather than the racer who drives the fastest. You're gonna hear a lot of voice lines and they are kind of annoying, but you get your, you start off with a ram, but you also get the ability to, nitro. I completely screwed that up. Oh gosh. Get out of my way. I might actually die. This is, Yep, I died. So that's a big time loss. One of the neat things about this game is if you place really bad... Oh, wow. I ain't getting nothing this race. If you place really badly, the game sometimes gives you a shortcut out of pity. I'm not even kidding. The game is like reverse rubber band. But yeah, so the way you build up fans, that's the first part. First course, we're gonna go on to our next course. The way you build up fans, you do well and you run over these, like yellow and orange, like lights on the ground. Those build up fans as well. But you have to go out of your way for them, so it's a little bit of a time loss. So what you really want to do is you want to get, Nitro as fast as possible, and I actually was able to get the starting boost there. That's remarkably difficult for me to time. Yeah, so what the stupid narrator says, you need to build up enough votes to get a Nitro, and then you'll see on the top left, I have 4 things up there. I have missiles, I have mines, which those are the last thing you get. They're not especially great, but they're useful for protection. There's the ram, which if there's AI next to me, I can kind of just bump into them. It's slightly slower to do, but if an AI is being really obnoxious, I can deal with them that way. I pretty much want to use Nitro immediately off of cooldown. Ideally, I'd like to get mines for later tracks, but yeah, so a lot of the tech in this game just kind of comes down to optimizing your nitros, getting typical racing stuff like tight turns, but also knowing where the collision points tend to happen. Which in this course's case, they tend to happen right around this loop near the starting line here. So if I can make that turn real nice, it's faster, but it's also very easy to just ram into somebody. So where's the mirror on this tub? Well, actually, you see my character is actually looking at the reflection off of the shower head on top of this car. So most tracks you will need to pit stop at least once, but it's usually your call on whether you should do it on the 3rd or 4th lap. Sometimes you take too much damage and it's the game forces your hand, but... Right. Yeah, so I'm on the 4th lap now and the game is basically forcing me to pit. Pit is slightly slower, but it does replenish all your stuff, which is really nice. And I haven't been firing enough missiles yet. Alright, good as new. And I just completely leapfrogged that guy. Here's the thing. This game looks like it would be shovelware as soon as you see the cover. But, you actually play this game, and it's not an amazing racing game by any means. If you pull it out at a party, you'll probably have fun for, 20 minutes, and you'll want to do something else. But, it brings forth some genuinely really interesting ideas. So, I have mines. Every character has their own unique mine here, and because this guy's a, did my capture card just die? I think my capture card just died. I apologize there. Alright, I'm gonna pause the game. 1 second.
Well, while we're working through technical difficulties, I'd like to give a shout out to our very own Tiny Tim, who donated $5.48. Says, "Hey all, had to donate for the awesome GhostKumo and the something Jimmie Johnson run. Ghost, you're an amazing person and a good friend, and it's always a pleasure to see you running at a marathon. Also, everyone deserves a massive thank you for raising so much for a great cause. Cheers." Thank you so much, Tiny Tim. Your generosity is just world renowned at this point, and we thank you so much for everything that you do for us.
I'm at the very end of this track here. Okay. Alright, sorry about that. So what happened, apparently I just had a bad HDMI cable. I had an extra one just in case. It worked all through testing, so that's just an unfortunate thing that happened there, but we can go ahead and get going again. So I'll go ahead and count you down. 3, 2, 1, go. I was basically at the end of that course anyway, so it wasn't the worst thing in the world to happen, but yeah. Alright, so we got 2 more tracks left to go. You know what, I'm actually going to change it up here. We're going to pick drone for this one. Go to Route 66. I should still somehow come under estimate here. I have a buffer of about 3 minutes. This is Route 66. Yeah, all the music in this game is just some combination of like country, quote-unquote hillbilly music and butt rock, so yeah, it's it is peak 2011 NASCAR culture. Anyway, so we're a wooden robot. If you're familiar with that episode of Futurama, it's kind of like that, where we will show these fool AIs our peaceful ways by force. So fun fact, you can actually hit those cars in the road there as an obstacle. They don't actually slow you down that much, but they I think they lose you in-game fans, and they like hurt your in-game time, which your racing in-game time actually is a thing in certain modes. Alright, get out of here, Tubman. So, just waiting to get around that loop there before I expend my my nitro boost there. Dang, these AIs have it out for me this run. Yeah, this is not a very serious speed run, because if you try to grind this game at all, you're just gonna run into AI, like, soul-crushing futility. I'm just absolutely just barraging these enemies with just a huge flurry of missiles here. The robot here actually has really good acceleration and really good handling. There's not a huge difference between the dirt racers in this game as much as other games. I usually find they all finish within about 3 seconds of each other on each course, give or take, assuming like the course goes relatively well. Dang, I might have to pit a second time. I've been just absolutely throttled here. And now I'm worried something's up with my PS3. The game crashed, and I don't mean because of that. I've never seen a crash in my life in this game, and now it's happened twice. Hold on just a second. All right. I have the hard reset. 3, sorry.
Well, the game's making it too easy for me to jump in with donations. We've got $50 coming in from Neitzel. Says, hey, I was expecting to donate $10 per death, but my run went too well. Thanks again for making this such an awesome event. And thank you for that amazing run earlier.
Okay. Alright, so we'll just blame Jimmie Johnson and have him do the hardest track of the game, which is Castle Crash here, not related to Castle Crashers. So you can go ahead and start just start whenever. Like at this point, the time doesn't really matter. So 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so this is the final course, Castle Crash. It's probably the most interesting, but it is also the hardest course in the game, which is why I save it for last. If you're doing any sort of PB attempt, you would probably do this one first, just because this is the course where the most can go wrong. But, anyways, so, yeah, I was expecting this to be the easy game of my 2 on the schedule here. And instead, this is the one that's giving me troubles with my HDMI cable, and then just my PS3 crashing altogether. So, trying to do a turn there is actually remarkably difficult. Anyways, but yeah. So, this is just a really silly game. It costs like $10 on the PSN shop. I'll go ahead and pit here really quickly, so I can hopefully complete the rest of the course without having to pit again. Surprisingly, I think we're only going to come in very, very slightly over estimate, despite the technical issues. I really don't want to fall into that moat there, and the collision point on this course happens to be right at the most dangerous part of the track, so... Alright, these guys need to get out of my way. Something tells me this isn't actually voice acted by the real Jimmie Johnson himself. Just as a heads up, we might have a Jackie Chan Adventures kind of deal there. Which, spoiler warning for anyone who watched Kids WB or whatever international network was airing it. Jackie Chan is not voiced by Jackie Chan. No celebrities were actually harmed in the making of this. Oh my goodness. Trying to do this trick can be really, well, tricky here. This game is dumb and I love it. But yeah, so we have 2 more laps left to go. I'm probably gonna have to pit a second time. Trying to get a sharp turn there sucks, because there's like a trick to decelerating while also braking.
Well, GhostKumo, mind if I hop in real quick?
Go for it.
Well, I just wanted to announce that we have another donation in. We've got another $50 from Final Flame. It says, hey, we are so close to these cutscenes. I never knew I needed this in my life until it was offered. Will we do it?
Oh, man.
And what they're referencing is the fact that we are only $93.77 away from meeting the incentive for the next run for M&M Shell Shock to watch all the cutscenes. So, I think we can do it, chat. I think we can hit that incentive before this run is over. Do you?
Realistically, maybe not, but maybe by the setup in between, because we're on the very last course here, and I just had a pizza thrown at me. Whatever, my placement doesn't matter in these courses. Alrighty, and that's time. Huh, somehow we were still able to get an 18. I had a timer running the entire time, so that took less than 18 minutes. But yeah, thanks everyone for watching. This game is really silly. I love showing it off because it's less than 20 minutes, and you just drive around and ram into people. And if bad things happen, that's just the game. So I hope y'all got some enjoyment out of it, technical difficulties aside. Thank you to Piner for putting up with with the technical issues. Yeah, definitely do check out the rest of the event. We still have 1 more full day to go. We do have an incentive that looks like it needs to be met pretty soon here if we're gonna get it in here. So, But I won't stall for much longer. Yeah, thanks everyone for watching. I stream at twitch.tv/GhostKumo. I stream usually a lot more serious games. But I might be submitting this game, hopefully assuming my PS3 works, for a GDQ silly block coming up here. So, fingers crossed on that one. But yeah, definitely check out the rest of the event. Please do keep donating, and GhostKumo out.
Thank you so much, Kumo. As you said, we are going to have a brief intermission, and when we come back, we're going to have Eminem's Shell Shock. And again, we are only $93.77 away from that incentive to see all the cutscenes. So get those donations in, and we can make that happen. Until then, enjoy the music.